I would like to call to order the City Council meeting for the City of Monona for Wednesday, April 8th, 2015. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Bussey.
Here.
Alder Wood.
Here.
Alder Spate.
Here.
Alder O'Connor.
Here.
Alder Holmquist.
Here.
Alder Thomas. Here. Mayor Miller.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion for approval of the minutes of the March 16th meeting?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions that anyone would like to make? Hearing none. All those in favor of approval say aye.
Aye.
Minutes have been approved. We have an appearance tonight, and better late than never. If I could have the swim team come join me at the podium, please. We had really special week for this proclamation, so we had to wait to have this be just perfect for you. So. All right, yeah, you can surround. Boy, I was this thin once upon a time, too. I don't know when that time was. That was very long ago, neighbor. Welcome. Wow, nice outfits. This is great. This is always the fun part of the job, where I get to issue a proclamation that tonight is whereas the Monona Grove Boys Swim and Dive Team won the 2015 WIAA Division II State Boys Swimming and Diving Championship on February 20th, 2015 at the University of Wisconsin Natatorium. And whereas this represents the team's second state title in 3 years and solidifies Monona Grove's program as a consistent and strong leader in the Badger Conference South. And whereas the state title was the culmination of a perfect conference record and the 2015 Badger Conference South title. And whereas the 2014-15 team, coached by Kelly Chadish, was comprised of 30 young men who proudly displayed their school pride, determination to succeed, and dedication to their team. And whereas swimming and diving are sports requiring an extraordinary amount of hard work, discipline, and mental and physical conditioning. Swimmers practice before and after school for a total of 3 to 4 hours per day. And divers travel to Middleton every day after school for practice. And whereas this hard work resulted in the Monona Grove swimmers and divers qualifying in 11 of 12 events for the state meet. How'd that one slip away? Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Robert E. Miller, Mayor, and on behalf of the City Council, hereby commend and congratulate the 2014-15 Monona Boys Swim and Dive Team on their state championship title and ask the community to please join me in celebrating their extraordinary season. Signed in the City of Monona, Dane County, this 8th day of April 2015. Congratulations. Going to give the speech.
I said I would if I get to hold it. Okay. I just wanted to say thank you, first of all. It's really a pleasure for us to be here. We put a lot of time, effort, our families, swimmers, to be competitive, but to be the top tier team. I think the entire season was something we were working towards for years. We were very excited about this season. We knew we had a very good upcoming class and finishing with some really nice seniors and everybody in between. So to finish on this high note was very exciting, and then to get recognition from our community just kind of sweetens the deal. So I just want to say thank you for all being here and allowing us to be celebrated tonight.
Thank you. And how about same time, same place next week? Last time, go to home. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. All right, continuing in the appearances section, I have 2 registrants. If there's anyone else who would care to appear before the council on any items that aren't specified, please fill out one of the forms. First, I have Craig Hayes of Tully's. The subject, he would like to speak against the American development and easement. Craig?
As regards to American development and easement, we all know this narrow easement across Tully's lot was never intended for anything else but Lot 1 hotel. By narrow, I mean it's only wide enough for one car to pass through. This new Lot 2, which will be high traffic with a fast food restaurant and a bar restaurant, is able to use this easement due to legal technicalities. Lot 2's main entrance is on Broadway, which has a right turn in and a right turn out only. So you can only go west. You can only go in there west, you can only go out going west. This means that all eastbound traffic on Broadway, all north and southbound Monona Drive traffic, and all neighborhood traffic that's behind the neighborhood on the west side of Monona Drive will use Tully's driveway and easement, which was intended for Lot 1 only. I ask you then, where is the main entrance really located at? It's not on Broadway, it's at Tully's driveway, which we see probably at least 75% of the traffic from those 2 restaurants. Another point is there is no easement from Tully's to liquor store, which means the owner could block off that access point anytime he wanted to, which will only intensify the traffic that Tully's driveway is supposed to handle. We all know the islands in Monona Drive are not wide enough to cross and safely wait for oncoming traffic to clear. Most of us know the traffic at Broadway and Monona Drive at Broadway and Monona Drive stoplight frequently backs up multiple times a day far past the Tully's driveway. So it's very difficult to cross Monona Drive from our driveway and go left or go straight up PQ. And when you try to, you can't be fully protected because your back of your car is sticking out in the southbound lane of Monona Drive. Just because the Tully's easement was passed for Lot 2 doesn't mean it is out of the city's control, as groundbreaking for the establishments hasn't even been started. I'm asking the city to use its authority to put a hold on this project and to bring these issues back to review and a cure before there are accidents, injuries, and loss of business. The current Tully's business and hotel traffic gets backed up in the driveway now, trying to cross Monona Drive, or even just to turn out and go south Monona Drive. Now just think when the volume of from Lot 2, which will probably be about 75% of the traffic, is also engulfed in our traffic. And this is added to the scenario. It's just going to be a nightmare. Some people say the train's left. Well, the train can leave the station, but it's never too late to call it back, especially when there's danger ahead. An idea that could help the situation would to make that egress driveway that's just south of our driveway. It's on a hotel property. It's egress only. It would only take a couple of curb cuts and some directional arrows on the pavement to make that an ingress egress for the hotel. And they would have their own driveway, and ours would be left alone. It'd take a heck of a lot load off our driveway. And that's a real simple solution. I mean, the driveway's there, a couple of curb cuts, simple curb cuts, and you got an ingress egress for the hotel. Their own. Another idea would also help ease the situation too a little bit for our customers is if we could open up that back driveway that goes back on Eastgate Road. So they could come and go from the neighborhood that way instead of having to fight the Monona Drive traffic. I apologize for bringing these issues up at this late date, but please hear me out. I'm asking for the city for help, be proactive and bring us back to the table for review and to find a more reasonable and realistic solution before it is really too late. Accidents, injuries, and lost business have occurred. If Tully loses customers due to congestion, if they have accidents and customers don't come back to Tully's, it's going to be the same thing for those new restaurants too. If we're losing customers, they're going to lose customers because of the traffic congestion. So whatever's good for us is going to be good for them too. So I'm asking for the city and the government of Monona to give us some help in the situation. I know we were late. I'm not going to get all the reasons why we were late, but it should have been addressed before, and it wasn't. And I'd be willing to bet a lot of these issues that are brought up about you can only go you can only reach the main entrance for that new development going west. You can only leave going west. I don't think anybody really thought about all the eastbound traffic on Broadway and all the north and southbound traffic in Monona and neighborhood traffic. It's all going to use our driveway. It's insane. It's going to be a backup. To be both money on a new Monona Drive, and it's beautiful. Then we're going to have this nightmare right by the stop and go light. So I'm asking please and begging please that the city council and the government here help bring us to a cure. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Sherry Hayes of 2440 Holiday Point Drive. Would like to speak for informational purposes only regarding traffic safety. Sherry?
Okay, I promise I'll talk a lot slower than my husband. My name is Sherry Hayes. My husband Craig and I own Tully's too. I'm here tonight to address the issue we have with traffic from the proposed brewery restaurant. First off, we welcome competition and appreciate you bringing business to Monona. Competition is good. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Tully's has survived a smoking ban, road construction, and a poor economy. We kept everyone working and didn't have to lay anyone off. Thank you, Monona and Madison customers. We heard about the sale and proposed business. We joked about putting a sign out in front of us saying, "Don't just drive by, stop in." Then we saw how unsafe the traffic flow was going to be. Our fear is not competition. Our fear is the unsafe traffic flow that's going to come from these two new businesses crossing in front of Tully's. We see traffic in front of our driveway every day from the hotel in Tully's. It's backed up on Monona Drive, so traffic comes across Tully's and Licari's to exit onto Kings Road because you can't get across Monona Drive from Tully's driveway from at least noon to 7. And now we are doubling that traffic flow. We also do call-ins and carry-outs too. We see a large potential accident problem from our customers leaving Tully's or their customers leaving their business. If we can't reroute this traffic, please think about this. You're going to visit either of these two businesses and Monona Drive is backed up. So you can cut across Licari's and Tully's to get there without a holdup. So you do just that, cut across Licari's and Tully's to avoid the backup in traffic. Or once you pick up your order, and now you need to go east, north, or south because you can only go west on Broadway, you're going to come back across Tully's and Licari's and out on Kings Road to go east, north, or south. And now someone is exiting Tully's from the back lot with their carryout, or someone is exiting the microbrewery after having a beer, and they T-bone that Tully's customers coming from our back lot. Or the Tully's customer T-bones that customer, and we result in an accident. I see this route as being used as a frontage road running parallel to Monona Drive for incoming and outgoing traffic. Construction has not yet started. We need to rethink the entrance and exit for these two businesses before we have big accident potentials. Craig and I feel very strong on this issue. That's why we're presenting it. Even if you feel that nothing needs to be done about it and something was to happen, we'll be able to sleep because we tried. I really hope you see our concerns and can do something about it before it's too late for somebody. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions? No. All right, thank you. That concludes the public hearing section. Consent agenda. I just learned this evening, I've been spending more time on this than I needed to. I can just ask if anyone has any concerns about the consent agenda and we can vote on it immediately. Don't even need to vote. Unless you have concerns, I'm going to approve the consent agenda. Any concerns? Nope. All right, moving on to item G. Unfinished business is consideration of ordinance 3-15-670 is amending section 2-4-24 of the Code of Ordinances regarding the Distinguished Service Awards Committee, brought forth by the city clerk. Unfinished business, does that?
You want a motion?
Yeah, yes, I do. Second. There's a motion, second for approval. City clerk?
The committee actually wanted this change, or approved this change, so that employees would be given recognition for their years of service on a regular basis rather than on a random basis, because the Distinguished Service Award is limited to the number of people they can award. And it would let the committee focus on volunteers rather than employees.
Questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, new business. Item 2A is consideration of resolution 15-2-2010, amending the 2015 operating budget to increase pay rates for police lieutenants and sergeants, brought forth by the Finance and Personnel Committee. Chief? Pat?
No motion.
No motions, new business, unless,
Can we take it
yes,
I can
yes.
do it.
Take this item out of order.
There's a motion to take this item out of order. It's been seconded. All of those voting in favor of taking this item out of order, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
Is there a second? There's a motion and second. All right, Pat?
Yeah, over the last 2 or 3 Finance and Personnel Committee meetings, there has been some discussion as to the pay rates for our lieutenants and sergeants as they compare to the individuals that work underneath them. That would be the patrol officers and the detectives. And the Finance and Personnel Committee reached the conclusion that both those positions weren't sufficiently compensated given the current salaries of the positions underneath them, and are recommending the increase per the resolution that you have in front of you.
Questions? I think this was fully discussed at previous meetings, so hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'd like to thank staff and the chief and Pat for working on this, because it was far more difficult than you would think at face value to get this correctly in line. So, and thank you guys for your patience while we made sausage on this. So, moving on to item 2B, you will notice start for immediate action, consideration of resolution 15-4-2022, accepting governmental responsibility for runoff management grants, brought forth by the Public Works Director, Alder Thomas.
Move to suspend the rules and take this item out of order.
I'm sorry.
We don't need to deal with this one.
Yeah,
realize
this,
also.
we just found out this week that we received this grant money. It was a grant that we sought previously. We didn't think that we would be able to accept it due to the timing of our project at Schluter Road, but the county stated that we would be able to extend that for a period of 24 months. So this item does not need to be on the agenda, and I don't know what type of action this body would take. Maybe table it indefinitely, or?
Move to table.
There's a motion to table and second this item indefinitely. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The item has been tabled. Item moving to 2C is consideration of resolution 15-4-2021, a preliminary resolution declaring intent to exercise special assessment police powers under section 66.0703 in the Wisconsin statutes in the city of Monona, Dane County, Wisconsin for street improvements to Tompkins Drive, brought forth by the Public Works Committee. Mr. Stefani.
Thank you, Mayor. Included in your packet, you should have the report that was completed by me for this Tompkins Drive project. It's regarding the preliminary assessments for Tompkins Drive. We had the public hearing for this project at our April 1st Public Works Committee meeting. Nobody showed up to contest the assessments, and the Public Works Committee recommended passing this on to council to accept the resolution. The packet I put together includes information from the city of Madison. This is a project being led by their Public Works Department. We have a facts and detail sheet that we put together. It also includes the notices that the city of Madison put out for their public information meeting. The bid information, examples of letters that we had sent out to our residents, and finally towards the end, the assessment and information for our residents. Let me get back to that page. As far as costs go, as it breaks down, it looks like $13,758.88 is what will be assessed back to the property owners, preliminary at this point. Once the project is considered complete, we'll have a final assessment resolution. The city's expense, the actual expense, we're figuring to be $42,241.12. And this is per City of Monona code, outlined in our ordinance book. A little further in the packet, we have individual assessment figures for each property. Again, that total comes to $13,758.88. It seems to be a pretty straightforward project. So I guess unless there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
Any questions of Mr. Stefani? All right. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Item 2D, start for immediate action. Consideration of Resolution 15-4-2023 is amending the capital budget and awarding water facility improvement project bids brought forth by the Public Works Committee.
Move to suspend the rules and take this item out of order.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and second to suspend the rules, take this item out of order. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion for approval?
Approval.
Second?
Second.
Motion and second for approval. Mr. Stefani.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, we received bids for this project at March 26, 2015, from 3 contractors. JF Ahern provided the low bid, the lowest responsible bid, for the total amount of $383,300. I'm also asking for a capital budget amendment to accommodate this bid award. The bid came in about $60,100 higher than what we had remaining for this project for construction. As you can see by the information I had included in the packet, the finance director stated that we do have money remaining from past utility projects that we can use to cover this this amount, this requested amount. We reviewed this at our April 1st Public Works Committee meeting, and we received the recommendation for approval from the committee.
Questions of Mr. Stefani? Mr. Alderspate?
Could you just, or could we clarify how that money is accounted for in the past projects? I mean, when we go through the budget process, how?
I can clarify that. That would be strictly for projects allocated in the capital fund, the capital budget, that projects that came under the budgeted amount for those line items in the utility.
In the utility?
In the utility.
Okay.
It's the fund balance in the utility.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Alder Holmquist.
Can you speak to what was in the bid alternate number 1 and number 2?
Sure. There was confusion with the lump sum bid and the bid alternate number 1 between the 3 companies, and they received their information from L.W. Allen, who is the city's SCADA contractor. One of the companies, Gilbank Construction, separated out. There was a portion of the L.W. Allen SCADA work that was to be put in the main bid, the base bid, and a portion of that was to be bid alternate number 1. 2 companies didn't do that, and from what I understand is it wasn't clear from L.W. Allen which equipment or which money was to be put in the lump sum bid. I guess either way, I would have come forward seeking approval for base bid and bid alternate number 1, because the work that is in the base bid, the lump sum bid, needs to be integrated with the bid alternate number 1. They kind of go hand in hand. It was just separating the lump sum items from the SCADA items. The bid alternate number 2 that I'm not asking for approval on is the removal of the old generator there that we haven't operated in quite some time, and we got the okay from the DNR to take it out of service. Our guys will remove that. We'll save money on that. So
if you take the first 2 columns, add them together, the lower bidder still is winning. Ahern is the lower
GF
bidder.
Ahern, correct. Yep.
And they all know that?
Yes.
So there's not going to be a question about.
Right.
Other questions? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Thomas. Aye. Alder Bussey.
Aye.
Alder Wood.
Aye.
Alder Spate.
Aye.
Alder O'Connor. Aye. Alder Holmquist.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you.
Item 2E is consideration of resolution 15-4-2024, award of bid for water tower interior painting brought forth by the Public Works Committee, again noted for immediate action. Is there a motion to suspend the rules, take this item out of order?
So
Second.
Second.
So motion second, suspend the rules, take this item out of order. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
second.
It's motion second. Mr. Stefani.
Thank you, Mayor. Also on March 26th, we had the bid opening for this project. We received bids from 9 contractors. The low bid, low responsible bid, was by Pittsburgh Tank and Tower Maintenance for the price of $48,200. This project is the interior painting of our old white water tower. It's to correct the welding marks that were left behind by the cell phone companies, and to repair some pitting on the floor of the tower caused by the welding droppings. We intend to fully assess back all project costs, $77,500, back to the 4 providers. We've sent letters to all 4 companies. I have 2 that have come back, AT&T and Cricket Communications. We still need to get in touch with those folks. But like I said, this is going to be assessed back, so we're fronting the cost and
The
billing
2
it
who
back.
have acknowledged your letter, what was their response?
T-Mobile and Verizon, they both sent people out to the tower to take their pictures, and as of right now, they're tentatively in agreement to being assessed. So we just need
And
to.
it'd be an equal 4-way split?
That's what we're planning to do. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Further questions? Hearing none. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Holmquist.
Aye.
Alder Thomas.
Aye.
Alder Bussey.
Aye.
Alder Wood.
Aye.
Alder Spate.
Aye.
Alder O'Connor.
Just because this closed session, I think, will take some time. And I see Mr. Thompson's back there. He's welcome to stay, but if he doesn't, if you don't mind, I'd like to move on to item H, is reports of committees, commissions, and boards. Alder Holmquist.
No report.
Alder Thomas.
No report.
Alder Bussey.
No report.
City Attorney. Alder O'Connor.
The Community and Media Committee meeting has been rescheduled from this Thursday
tomorrow the 9th to next Thursday the 16th.
Alder Spate.
I would just remind everyone that the final meeting to discuss the Winnequa Park Master Plan will be happening the last Tuesday of this month, and it is at 6:30 at the Community Center. And I was going to pull up the calendar. The final two, I think it's the 28th.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Thank you. Alder Wood.
No report?
City Clerk.
Another successful election, wonderful turnout by Monona voters of 36%, which was well over the projected 20% that the county assumed would happen. Congratulations to all of the re-elected incumbents. We're happy to have you back. I am anyway. And it went really well, and I'd just like to congratulate the election inspectors, led ably by the chief inspectors, Mary O'Connor, one of them. And it's a wonderful group of people to work with, and they do their absolute best. And also Alder Thomas as an election inspector, you guys are invaluable. City is extremely lucky to have the type of people working for them that they do.
Thank you for your work in that too. It probably takes you 10, 15 minutes to get ready for those elections. Great job. And I too would like to commend the city that time and time again, if we're not the leading community in Dane County, we're number 2 for turnout. So for municipal races where there was no opposition and only the school board, I guess the Supreme Court race really pulled it out, but the city's to be commended for its civic involvement. So good job, Joan, to engage us all. City Administrator Marsh.
Yeah, to save Dan some more time on his feet, I'll give you a quick update on the Public Works spring projects. The yard waste site, the yard waste bins are open to the public and have been for several weeks now. Crews are out doing leaf collection and brush collection scheduled. District 1 is started this week for brush collection. Leaf pickup will continue until we have all the leaves picked up through the community, as well as street sweeping. So those guys are out working hard. We will have in the near future 2 new crew members that will be working on Monona Drive and Broadway, the terrace and the medians there, as was approved through the budget. So it's not late enough now that we can cut the grass, but we can do a lot of cleanup now in those areas, and especially presentation around the stone walls that were constructed. So we'll be working on that. The last thing I'd like to mention is that Renew Monona, there is a round for the housing program that opened up April 1st and ends May 1st. And we already have, I believe, 2 applications that have been submitted for that program, and a lot more interest out there. So, you know, I expect that to be more applicants than money that's available, but that's good. That's a program that we need to continue in the community.
Thank you. I too would like to congratulate the winners of yesterday's election, the incumbents who returned back. This has been a good council to work with, and I see no reason that it won't enjoy the next year at least. As it relates to committees, I would ask, again, I like the way things are working, so rather than have you rank, I just would ask if any of you want to get off the committee you're on. I would be open to those discussions, but I would prefer that you arm wrestle with one of your council members if there's a committee you want to get in, to see if there's one of the alders would want to step off. Because right now, as I reviewed last week, the committee assignments, I like how they are. So I don't plan on making any changes unless somebody makes a strong argument to make that change. And also, based upon what we know right now for agenda items for the next meeting, I would ask your consideration, rather than have 2 consecutive nights of council meetings, that we could move the council meeting to the swearing in meeting on Tuesday. So we would instead of having finance personnel and city council on Monday, we would start at 5:30 at City Hall for the swearing-in, election of council president, and conduct whatever business we would need to conduct.
And that'd be on the 21st.
21st at 5:30 in the large conference room at City Hall. Does anyone have problems with that? Alder O'Connor?
I have another commitment at 6:30 that evening, so would have to leave about 6:20, I suppose.
And you're gone for the evening?
Right.
Okay. We'd be done
I
for
could
anything.
be there for the
Yeah,
swearing.
so we would have quorum. Otherwise, you're okay with that? We will do. That's all I have to report on, unless anything, staff. All right.
Mayor, if I
yes.
could, just procedurally for the closed session, the intent would be for the council to convene in closed session jointly with CDA. So after you go through this, assuming the council votes to go into closed session, the CDA is going to convene and they'll bring in their same motion immediately after the motion the council brings.
So Mr. Stolper will bring these motions forward?
He would.
Okay.
Yeah, he's.
All right, so then moving on to item 2F is to convene in closed session under Wisconsin statute section 19.85 paren 1 paren E, the deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Tonight's discussion will be the Riverfront Development Project and negotiation strategies. Is there a motion to move into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder O'Connor.
Aye.
Alder Holmquist.
Aye.
Alder Thomas.
Aye.
Alder Bussey.
Aye.
Alder Wood.
Aye.
Alder Spade.
Aye.
Motion passes.